Hello everybody. Now, a couple of evenings ago I did a live broadcast with Tony Smith over on his channel. I will put a link underneath so you can go and have a look at it. It's still there. It's about an hour long, and we were both sort of talking about gardening and answering questions from the people who were in there watching the broadcast, and it was good fun. Enjoyed it. It's still over there. Go and have a look at it. But a couple of things came up in there that made me think, well, a lot of people have seen all of this plot here, but a lot of people haven't. For instance, any new subscribers to the channel, so I thought I'd give you a quick march tour. I don't normally do tours, but I thought I'd give you a quick march tour around so you can see the confines of this plot. And you can also see it because right now it's a mess. I've been doing some recycling from other areas, and things are just left everywhere, so you can see it in its messy state, and then as the year goes on you'll see it getting tidied up and see the stuff getting used. So I thought it'd be useful to see that. So we'll go right down the bottom and start right at the front of the plot. So this little scruffy area here, right at the very front of the plot, in front of these beds, you can see I've got piles of flagstones here that I've been fetching down to the plot, which are for a project at the back we'll get to in a minute. But otherwise this plot here, this bit, stays clear because just in front of this van here, these two big panels with the very silver bottoms to them are two panels that will come out, and it means that a lorry or a tractor can back in here and drop piles of manure directly on my plot, and then it can go straight into them compost bays over there, and they can be turned with other compost from the plot, and when it gets up to the top it's in a usable state and it goes off into the plot. Well, that's this area here, and it's one that I often skip because it just looks a tip, and it is, but it's a drop-off point. It's there with a purpose. So I have 8 no-dig beds on this side, 16 foot long, 4 foot wide, and on this side there is only a 1 foot path in between. It's enough for me, but for most people it would probably be too tight. On reflection, I probably should have done them wider, but I would have lost a couple of beds. I flipped the coin at the time, and the narrower pathways won. You can see here I've got purple sprouting broccoli. Had one picking off it already, and another one coming off it very, very soon. And a few kale plants left here in this one, and some cauliflowers here. Nothing in that cage. That's covered in Enviromesh, and that grows me carrots. The same as this one over here. Now this one at the moment, I'm using it as a cold frame, and I've got some flowers in here, cornflowers, ammi, sweet rocket, and a few sweet peas. The big polythene covered one at the back is one of my hot boxes, and I've got broad beans growing in there. On the other side, I've opted for wider paths, so they're 2 foot wide. And there's nothing in this one yet, but there's garlic and elephant garlic in this one, and then there's a big 3 foot path there because that's my access to the compost bays. So I want to get a wheelbarrow up and down there, and then there's 2 more empty beds up here. Most of my onions and shallots will be going up here this year. Over here we've got the wildlife pond and my bug bin, Houses of Parliament. And my little pond. This only went in just about a year ago now. Has got a lily and a few oxygenating plants in it. Had frogs in it last year. Hopefully we do again this year. We'll see. Plenty of bugs around this area. You can see there's a lot of rubbish needs tidying up. I did grow carrots in these tubes last year, and just behind it are artichokes. And the remains here of a couple of plum trees. These are coming out this year. So that's it really. Up this top part there's another little perennial bed here. I've got a few things in there growing away, some lupins and Verbena bonariensis, and some bulbs, some achilleas, and the same sort of thing over here. I mean, there's a better picture of me lupins. And again, there's some bulbs and things in here as well. So, and another achillea there. But that's a morning job, to weed that one. Then we walk over the side There's 2 more beds here, same size as all the rest, 16 foot long, 4 foot wide. And these 2 beds this year, this is my companion planting trial. I've done companion planting a little bit, but just in little spotty areas. I'm going to try it this year in 2 big beds. So there'll be a mix of veg, herbs, flowers, all kinds of stuff going in here. And we'll just see how things do and what gets attacked and what doesn't. So you can see, more and loads of mess. There's even my old Christmas tree there. Right, coming into my little tunnel, there's all these trays here full of compost. These have got all my dahlias in from last year. I've got it planted in these beds. These are my spring cabbage. Now, a couple of weeks ago, these were looking awful and I didn't think they were going to do anything. But just look at them now. They're really vibrant green, growing away quite happily. There's an old celeriac there. A few lettuce. These are definitely running off to seed now. And I've got, hiding up this area behind this collapsed hot box, I've got Mizumas. There's a green one there and this one is red streaks. Still perfectly edible them, and we're eating them. And over this side I've got some chard plants here, and these pak choi which have now finally gone to seed, and a few more chard plants down here. Now, I've just watered these this morning so they look a bit bedraggled, but I've got some salad mixes here. What's in this one? I've forgotten now. This is all the pak choi and Mizumas in this one, kales in this one, and gourmet salad leaves. Not long before we're eating these. So yeah, and we've obviously got a few potato pots here to empty. And that's it in here. This is my temporary shelving, which eventually I'll just let it down and it will sit on this bar, and this whole side will be covered with pots and trays of plants. This runs all the way down the side of this tunnel. So between that tunnel we've just been in and the big tunnel we're about to go in is all my potato pots, 30-litre pots with handles with compost in, and these are ready for planting fair enough, soon enough I mean. Again, in the big tunnel we're between crops and between seasons. So this is some rough area where some tatsoi came out of, and pak choi. These lettuces which we've been eating quite happily for months now, they're now running to seed. Might get another picking of some of those smaller ones, but that'll be it then they'll come out. I've got some carrots in this bed and in the next bed up here, and then I've got some cabbages, and at the back just over there we've got some cauliflowers. Bit strange with the cauliflowers. Normally I would have expected them before Christmas, but we haven't had a head on any of them yet. So then I've got some more chard down there, some kales, these are still looking healthy, some coriander down here, and on this side we've got some fennel which is doing well. I do think this is going to run to seed very soon, but otherwise I'm fairly happy with it. Yeah, it's responding quite well. Tons of compost all over the place, bags of compost and trays over this back area. I've got pots with things growing in them. I've got some lilies and Lord knows what else. I think there are alliums over there. All kinds of things in those pots growing ready up for spring. And I've even got some perennial plants. I know there's some delphiniums and stuff in those trays over there. So bags and bags and bags of promise. So I've got my onions here. I was just talking about them in the live with Tony the other night. So these are my onions. They're not looking particularly brilliant, but they are growing. These are leeks. These are my station sown leeks. And sorry, I hope that didn't make you sick. And on the shelf up here we've got some various herbs and flowers, ranunculus, antirrhinums, sweet peas, more antirrhinums, a few more onions and some heleniums. Out on the back of the plot, this is the back of the small tunnel and the big tunnel we've just been in. There's work going on apace here, and I've been laying some slabs there underneath this cover here, because I wanted a little patio area just down here in front, somewhere to sit, and I'm going to have a permanent bed up this side for the sweet peas. There are sweet williams in that bed over there, and then using your imagination, down this side, this 8-foot wide bed down here will be split in two with a path, and I'll have my dahlias down here. And on this side I've started building some beds and installing them. They're almost there, and I've got 3 more to make to go in this area, which is priority number 1. Then I can get them filled, because those flowers in the front in the cold frame are ready to go in. So yeah, I'm hoping I can get those made and everything set up here in about a week's time. The polytunnel over the back is the new one I made last year. I won't go in there just now because it's full of junk. There's all the cardboard for this no dig beds behind me. There's box up after box. You can probably just make it out in there. There's box after box, and all the painted timber to make the rest of these beds here. And there's bits of timber and scaffold boards and stuff. As I say, I've been doing lots of recycling and wind blown stuff. There's lots going on, there's lots to tidy. It'd keep me out of trouble, wouldn't it? So there we have it. That's an allotment plot in early March, and the mess that when you're doing a few jobs or when you're recycling stuff or trying to get projects done, this is the mess that you get left with. The front of the plot will be cleared pretty easily, and I've no concerns about that. And the priority for me really is to get those beds done, get them filled and get some plants in them, and that will kill a lot of birds with one stone. It will clear up a lot of the mess at the back and at the front by actually completing that job. So that's good. And then a couple of weeks after that, most of this whole plot will be tidy and ready to go, and that's a brilliant thing, and that's what I love. So it will all come together. You've seen it at its messiest now, and you'll be able to watch that transformation as it turns from an ugly duckling into a beautiful swan, and everything growing and me planting everything out. The next video will be in a couple of days, and it will be the flowers. I know I promised it the other day, but life things came up and stopped me coming down. I haven't actually been down here for 3 days this week, which for me is very different. And I actually had the shakes this morning. Gotta get out. So it's good to be down here and to catch up and make a little video for all you people. If you're new to the site, don't forget to subscribe. The big red buttons down there, I appreciate that. And yeah, like and comment if you can, also appreciate it. But we're back into gardening now, and I'm looking forward to it, really looking forward to it. I want to get these beds done, filled, planted. I want to get it all planted, and it'll all happen very soon. But for now, please look after yourselves, everyone. Take care, stay safe. I'll see you all very, very soon. Ta-ra now.